Welcome to Partners in Mission Nicaragua too. So this is Pat here, and on my way to visit what would be the very beginning of the first project that we plan to take on is Partners in Mission Nicaragua here on a second phase. What we're thinking about doing at this point is setting a modest goal of no less than rebuilding the village. The key to any development in Nicaragua is community. This is the key to any sort of healthy, integral education, whatever country it would be in, would be the whole aspect of community. So somehow we'd like to start this project here in Nicaragua, one family, one house at a time. So we're on our way to the community of Esquipulas, and where I had worked with a youth group for I guess about 6 or 7 months. A group of dynamic young people who got together and organized to do their biblical course and do community service hours and earn their Bible. So now what we're trying to do is follow up on that initiative from practicing the spiritual and corporal works of mercy. Translating that into the context of Nicaragua is quite a challenge, as there's many needs and many overwhelming situations. So as Dorothy Day used to say, we have to start laying one brick at a time. So we're on our way to a house that I might be able to film to show you, to give you an idea of what we're trying to do. To visit Maria, who's the youth leader of the community of Esquipulas here in La Paz, and we're going to talk with her and ask if her family would be interested in a earth-bag construction home that we would try to help raise funds for and organize work groups to accomplish helping rebuild a home for her family. Her uncle has been the one who's taken care of the chapel for years. They're a very dedicated family to the little chapel here in the parish. And both of her uncles are very ill. One aunt who takes care of both of them. And the precarious situation of Nicaragua is difficult just to begin with, but once there's a health crisis in the family, that puts families literally on the verge from poverty to, falling into misery. So what we're trying to do is assess with Maria and her uncles to see if they would be interested in having an earth-bag construction home built. Here's the little chapel in the community of Esquipulas where we did the biblical group, and where Don Winsolao, which is his name, was the sacristan for many years. And we're going to go talk to him right now. This is Don Winsolao's house, and we're going to go in and ask for first permission to interview and tell the story. We are in Sebastian's house with the Castillo family, right? And this is these are 3 brothers, and here is Don Winsolao. Don Winsolao has been working in the community, taking care of the chapel for over 43 years. A couple years ago, he had a heart attack, about 2 years ago.
Bueno, pues mi servicio, como le digo, pues de la iglesia.
He's worked for the church for 43 years.
Trabajando en la evangelización.
Working in evangelization.
Ahora, porque yo le digo, usted no me volverá a ver porque no sabemos, yo también que si me voy a enfermar yo no voy a poder salir ya. Y ha salido cierto.
So he worked for 43 years, had a heart attack, and has not been able to do the work as he used to do.
Y le digo, pues, y si yo pienso, como le digo, pues, recuperarme y seguir el trabajo.
And once I get back on my feet again, I'll be back to the work with the church.
¿Qué hacer? Y si nosotros no cooperamos, ¿sí? Entonces, pues, lo culpable sería el que está encomendado a la tarea, ¿sí? De llevar esa buena noticia, ¿sí?
I felt called to share the good news
la noticia de que Cristo está vivo y que
that Jesus is alive. And once I get healthy again, I'll be out sharing that good news once again. ¿Qué fue que pasó a su hermano? ¿Qué tiene su hermano? What happened to your brother?
Derrame creo que le dio pues porque le apareció.
We think he also had a heart attack, and he suffers from paralysis. So both of the brothers here take care of him, and he has to be lifted and changed and fed, and so the three brothers live together here with Don Wenceslao's wife. And what we would try to do is rebuild this home, which you can see is like a cane construction with a straw roof. So what we would try to do is help them have a decent home. Right, so one of the places that we could do it was right behind the house that we're in, and so they would have an actual place to begin the building while we would have a construction site. Okay, yeah, so they think that they would have the water, and they would have a basic space to do it, and they would be able to still live in their home while we were building. Okay. Don Wenceslao is telling me how his health situation just put him on the limit because of the expenses of the medicine, just makes any other sort of improvement to his house impossible. And this is a traditional Nicaraguan kitchen, and people get used to cooking by wood, and they cook inside the house. So one of the conditions would be that the kitchen be moved outside, as the health care workers require, because the smoke fills the house and people just get used to breathing the smoke, and it makes it a lot harder for everybody. So this is Don Wenceslao's wife, and we're going to talk to her. I finished the interview now, and I'm on my way back to my house where my wife and my family and my in-laws are waiting for me, and just want to make a few closing comments. It's very uncomfortable for me to make a video like I just did. I've never done this sort of thing in the past. I've done it in this case because I know the family for a couple years, and I believe very much that God moves our hearts to respond to the needs that we find underneath our eyes, right before us. And in this case, it's the story of the family of Don Wenceslao, who's worked for the community for over 46 years. A very simple man with a very simple education, with a deep, tremendous faith, who has given so many years to the service of the church and building up the kingdom. And now we hope to be able to have him receive some of the blessings of what we have to share with Don Wenceslao and his family. Thank you, Partners in Mission Nicaragua, and all those in Cincinnati who are going to be part of this project, and thank you ahead of time for helping us meet our fundraising goal, which I'll let you know what that's going to be very shortly.